This game, you're not ready for it. No, you guys get that, what was it called? Eve Online or something? He's like, this game, you're not ready. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. And I skip the ad. But this game is it's just a hell sent. It really is. This game is just constantly, it's one thing after another. So the release date, it was supposed to be this month. And people were like, oh, it's due to Valentine's Day, or more like, buy this for your enemy or something. But also because of Black History Month, Yasuke, Black. Then it was pushed to March 20th, but now it has a new release date. So, exclusive Ubisoft employee Assassin's Creed Shadow gets another delay. The team is a mess. An insider at Ubisoft has reached out to share some insanely damning info regarding the troubled and well-documented development cycle of everyone's favorite game to clown on, Assassin's Creed Shadows. According to my source, who is currently at Ubisoft as a redacted, the game is... We need more redacteds. The game is currently headed for yet another delay. This time, the game is confirmed by my insider to be delayed until May 2025. The game has been pushed back over half a year at this point. Imagine how much additional money Ubisoft has spent to keep the game in development. So, you know, there's that. At this point, it's like they put so much into it, and it'd be easier to just let it die, but they put so much money into it that they're not going to do it because they truly think that this is going to save them. This isn't the first time Assassin's Creed Shadows has found itself in hot ham water. Actually, at this point, it's not even close to it. From the beginning, the game's been plagued with delays, controversies, and developmental setbacks from reportedly a slew of contractors and first-time employees. And Ubisoft is also known to, like, apparently put people on projects who have no experience whatsoever. Like, they'll hire people and they're like, there you go, here's a project. Instead of having them shadow the other employees and kind of learn everything, it's like, oh yeah, you're on this project now. But whoa, the latest twist revolves around some supposed pushback from cultural officials regarding the depiction of destruction of religious shrines, which I'll say, like, in the other games, like, you can destroy religious sites. So as much as I love Japan, sorry Japan, they're just, you can do that in every game. You know, you can sacred sites. So unfortunately, if they make an exception for you, they would have to make an exception for everyone. But which I've seen a good amount of people on Twitter take serious issue with how it was so disrespectful to Japanese culture. The kind of controversy feels eerily similar to the other missteps Ubisoft has made in the past, where they failed to properly represent or respect the cultures they claim to celebrate in their games. Almost like no matter where they step, Ubisoft finds a way to rake and smack. Ubisoft will find a rake to smack themselves in the face, like Sideshow Bob. Yeah. The insider reached out to me, and while I do not know this individual, I personally verified who they were by name and credentials. They stated, "I am redacted with Ubisoft redacted as a redacted, finally working mainly on redacted, which has its problems with redacted. I'm contacting you regarding an upcoming and unannounced delay with Assassin's Creed Shadows. This is mainly due to the complaints from cultural officials around the destruction of shrines, but also to patch numerous bugs. The delay should be announced in a week, and it will probably be until May." If this insider's account is accurate, the company's explanation to employees claiming the delay is due to cultural sensitivities and bug fixing may be just nothing more than a convenient cover story. There's been growing speculation that Yasuke, the controversial co-main character who's becoming a lightning rod for criticism, within the gaming community has seen his role drastically reduced. I think we talked about that last time. What began as a key figure of DEI injection into Assassin's Creed Shadows has now reportedly been scaled back, scaled so far backwards to the point where he's no longer even required in any of the key quests in the game. This apparent attempt to sidestep more backlash from people just seems like it's a desperate move by Ubisoft to salvage the game's reception and avoid further controversies. If that's the case, if that is even the case in the first place. Yeah, I've been hearing from people it's like you don't need to be Yasuke to really complete the game or to see the game. You can pretty much see the entire game as Naue. So they should have just done this from the beginning. Instead, like there's a reason why the dude looks like George Floyd. They were pandering because of the whole Black Lives Matter. Because this began during, the whole thing with Black Lives Matter. So they tried to pander, but the game takes so long to come out that nowadays no one cares about Black Lives Matter. Like the group is not seen anymore. So it's like, okay, well, had you released this in 2020, 2021, it would have been great. But no one cares about Black Lives Matter anymore. On the other hand, I could easily argue that the real reason for the delay must be far more strategic, considering all the recent speculations about a potential buyout by Tencent, which I think I've been talking about for like half a year at this point. It isn't hard for anyone to imagine Ubisoft delaying Shadows for more important business reasons. An unreleased in-progress game could potentially hold way more value in acquisition negotiations than a finished published title. If Tencent is actually preferring to take over, Assassin's Creed Shadows would be worth far more as an unreleased property under development at the point that than a finished product with, let's be honest, an expected underwhelming reception. Sharing this with you as the game is in a not ready state and disrespectful to Asian culture. Although I work with some good people, the team is a mess. Regardless of the reason, I will reshape this world as it was meant to be. I will crush any opposition. I will rule. That is what a king must do. Regardless of the reason, the truth is that the game is quickly becoming the laughingstock of the entire gaming world. Actually, you could argue it has already been for the better part of the last year or more. Yeah, I mean, I think pretty much once this stuff popped up, I've been talking about it, so it's been a while. What was once a highly anticipated entry in Assassin's Creed franchise has devolved into a series of embarrassing delays, internal chaos, diversity, equity, inclusion injections, and mounting criticisms from both players and cultural advocates alike. What's the point of a consultancy agency again if they can't get the basics right of what they're hired for in the first place? All they've done is ruin the livelihoods of hardworking, good-intentioned developers that are busting their butts at these companies at the end of the day. Ubisoft has yet come out and comment on the rumor, of course, but if the announcement is going to be in a week away from this post, we won't have to wait long for confirmation. Yeah, and that's the problem, because there are fine people working at these places, but it's the higher ups who are making all these stupid choices, and then when the game fails and doesn't make money, it's the smaller guy who has to lose their job. The hardworking men and women there just trying to make a good game, they lose their jobs because the higher ups are like, no, put a chicken in, make her lame and gay. That's the reason they lose their jobs, because people are tired of it. They don't buy the game. The company loses money because the game didn't sell well, and then there are layoffs. And then these are the people who get laid off, not the higher ups who are making these crappy decisions and forcing this crap when they know full well that people don't want it. But no, the people who just want to make a good game. So Yeah, if this ends up being true, I'm not surprised at all. This game has been a complete freaking disaster since day one. Since day one, this thing has just been one thing after another, after another, after another, after another. From the cultural insensitivity, you know, with the just the architecture using Chinese architecture rather than Japanese. Um, Choosing to use a black guy, Yasuke, who was just a bodyguard essentially, using him rather than a traditional, probably most likely well-known samurai around that era. To the one-legged Torii gate using for the collectibles, when the one-legged Torii gate is more of a symbol of the bombing of Nagasaki. The list goes on with this game. It just, and then we see like last month, they're trying to pet a dog on stream. They're playing the game trying to pet a dog, and they can't even do that right. Probably one of the simplest things to do in game, to pet a freaking dog, and they couldn't even do it right. So this game is one disaster after another. So if it does happen and it comes out in May, I'm not too surprised at all. You know? So this is what you get. This is what happens when you pander, and then the people you pander to aren't really interested in it, and you push away everyone else. This is what happens. Good job, guys. But modern gaming. This is modern gaming. So, anyway, that's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.